Okay. So in our discussion, basically what I said was, if teenagers were to become fully discipled before high school graduation, we would see differences in our adults today. Just, I think from a student pastor's perspective, recruiting leaders who not just want to serve for an hour on a Sunday morning, but leaders who want to disciple students because they know that's their job as a follower of Christ. Um, I think it was when one of the last three lectures we talked about how leaders oftentimes will be like, my group is boring or nothing's changed in a year. And Dr. Ross said that's on us, which I totally agree. And I've been convicted of that, absolutely, of not equipping my leaders well enough. But I do think it's easier to equip leaders who want to be equipped, who don't just want to be babysitters for an hour. And so I was telling the guys this, what I did was I actually was able to start one of the groups that was talking about in Neil Cole's book. Is my wife. In Neil Cole's book, uh, I guess they're called LTGs. But start that with one of my leaders, and we're already seeing dividends from that, from discipling him, and we're seeing me being discipled through him too. And so we're beginning to see this great, the beginning of a new culture that we just really want to see. So I think we would see just growth, and that's just junior high ministry is what I'm talking about. We can see that in high school ministry, we see that in children's ministry, and it's church wide at that point. So yeah.
Okay. I think that if teenagers were to become fully discipled before high school graduation, the church will be able to perform healthier and more progressive work than the present adult church. In fact, many teenagers become adults without proper religious training. So when they become adults, they leave the church and fall into alcohol or sexual temptations. And they return to the church and receive faith basic faith training again. But if teenagers maintain their faith even they become adults through full training, the church can teach them more and new areas. For example, the church can teach about the biblical family or the appearance of parents earlier and invite them to Sunday school teacher and missionary service. Furthermore, they can be trained to serve as leaders, teaching unbelievers or newcomers directly. So, children, students, and believers to raise through them can make other disciples. So, I think it is very important to have the right faith through full training as teenagers.
So I think one of the things we talked about originally is when we're talking about kids being fully discipled before high school graduation, what the church would look like. I think that it would just, we would have adults that would be a lot more engaged in ministries. The general health of the church would be improved. One of the things that really stuck with me from the lectures this year was the statistics out in Europe of how, churches have just died out there. And the vast result of it is kids were ignored, and now you have a generation between the ages of 19 to 30 that just aren't engaged, that have no interest in the things of God. And if we were just more proactive in trying to be engaged with these kids while they're here and setting those rhythms and having them serving and being a part of the culture of the church, just I think that what we would realize is that we would have adults that got beyond just drinking milk and were more engaged, more equipped to be able to conduct ministries as adults. So yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at this week.
Awesome.